In the shadows of the Caribbean night, far from the watchful eyes of European empires, a secret trade was quietly rewiring the economics of rebellion. While France boasted that Saint-Domingue was the richest colony on earth, enslaved Africans orchestrated covert exchanges, transferring goods, weapons, and intelligence across forbidden channels. This hidden economy would soon ignite the world's most successful slave uprising, the Haitian Revolution. Before we uncover how illicit finance toppled a global superpower, remember to like, subscribe, and join our journey into forgotten financial history. Tonight, we reveal the underground wealth that fueled the birth of the world's first Black Republic. By the 1780s, Saint-Domingue produced nearly 40% of Europe's sugar and 60% of its coffee, generating unimaginable wealth for plantation owners and French bankers. Yet beneath this glittering prosperity was an enslaved population sustaining brutal labor regimes. These plantations required constant imports of food, tools, livestock, and machinery, imports often mismanaged by colonial monopolies. The resulting shortages created an opening. Enslaved workers began sourcing essential goods through underground trade routes with Spanish merchants, free people of color, and sympathetic sailors. What started as survival slowly evolved into a parallel economy, one that would later bankroll the revolution's earliest sparks. Deep within mountainous hideouts, escaped Africans, known as Maroons, built secret communities, forming networks entirely independent of colonial oversight. They established nighttime markets illuminated by torches and moonlight, exchanging stolen sugar, coffee, tobacco, and livestock for gunpowder, salt, fabrics, and medicines. Spanish smugglers and free black traders from Jamaica and Cuba quietly participated, creating a financial artery that the French could neither detect nor shut down. These markets became the lifeblood of resistance, proving that economic autonomy, not just armed defiance, was essential for survival. Here, rebellion gained both material strength and strategic unity, years before the first shots of revolution. A powerful, often overlooked group shaped this hidden economy, the wealthy free people of color. Many were skilled artisans, prosperous farmers, or merchants with European education, fluent in French and global commerce. Restricted by racist laws, they secretly financed maroon settlements and smuggled goods through private networks. Using forged papers, clandestine credit lines, and coded letters, they funneled silver coins, weapons, and provisions to resistance leaders. Their economic sophistication, rooted in experience navigating discriminatory financial systems, quietly undermined French power. By empowering the enslaved with resources previously controlled by white elites, they transformed economic frustration into organized revolutionary potential. Because the French fiercely restricted legal trade, the Spanish border became a porous gateway for rebellion. Smugglers moved barrels of gunpowder disguised as flour, rifles hidden in cane shipments, and silver coins sewn into clothing. Spanish officers turned blind eyes in exchange for bribes or political advantage, allowing Haitian rebels to tap into wider Atlantic markets. These cross-border exchanges created a financial corridor stretching from Cuba to Veracruz, linking Saint-Domingue's rebels to distant allies. In these shadow pathways, money flowed without French permission, becoming the economic bloodstream of an uprising that would soon shake colonial power at its core. Across the sea, American traders saw opportunity in the chaos. Though officially neutral, merchants from Rhode Island, Boston, and Philadelphia shipped salted fish, lumber, and gunpowder to Saint-Domingue in exchange for cheap sugar and molasses. Through coded invoices and offshore deals, they supplied both French planters and enslaved rebels, often unknowingly helping the latter. The young United States needed Haitian sugar to fuel its own emerging industries, while Haitian rebels needed supplies to sustain survival. These clandestine exchanges formed an economic triangle where profit overshadowed politics, highlighting how global markets quietly set the stage for revolutionary upheaval. Inside the plantations, enslaved Africans developed sophisticated methods of siphoning value from their oppressors. Using knowledge of estate inventories, they diverted livestock, tools, rum, raw sugar, and even plantation accounting books to supply maroon forces. Nighttime raids targeted isolated warehouses, while trusted house slaves leaked financial documents revealing French weaknesses. These stolen goods fed, armed, and informed rebel groups long before formal battles began. The enslaved had effectively inverted the colonial economy, turning the very machinery of exploitation into a weapon of liberation. Each stolen sack of sugar or barrel of rum funded another step toward the coming revolution. Voodoo, more than a spiritual system, became a communication network linking plantations, maroon communities, and free black traders. Ceremonies doubled as planning meetings where messages, resources, and intelligence circulated under the cover of ritual. Priests and priestesses acted as couriers, carrying coded information disguised as offerings or chants. Voodoo temples stored emergency provisions, dried foods, medicinal herbs, and tools, critical for sustaining resistance. In this way, spiritual gatherings became logistical hubs, enabling economic coordination the French never recognized. What colonists dismissed as superstition was, in reality, a decentralized financial system binding thousands together through shared purpose and strategy. When the revolution began in August 1791, rebels were already armed, supplied, and connected through the networks forged in secret markets and smuggling routes. Gunpowder from Spanish traders, blades forged by free people of color, and supplies stolen from plantations ensured the uprising erupted with extraordinary force. Thousands rose simultaneously across the colony, setting fire to estates and seizing strategic locations. French officials were stunned, not only by the numbers but by the rebels' organization. The hidden economy had matured into a military supply chain, converting clandestine trade into a full-scale financial engine of revolutionary fire. As plantations burned and shipments halted, France's financial heart felt the shockwaves. Investors panicked as sugar prices collapsed, while insurance companies refused to cover the catastrophic losses. European banks, heavily exposed to Caribbean plantations, faced liquidity crises. French ports from Nantes to Bordeaux reported near-total commercial paralysis. Every estate destroyed in Saint-Domingue represented not only human liberation but a financial earthquake. The secret trade that empowered rebels now economically strangled France, revealing a brutal truth. The wealth of an empire rested on fragile foundations easily dismantled by those it sought to control. When Britain launched its naval blockade to weaken revolutionary forces, rebels adapted swiftly. Using smaller vessels, hidden coastal inlets, and nighttime sailings, they bypassed British patrols with assistance from Jamaican mariners and American privateers. Free people of color established mobile trading stations along the coast, exchanging sugar and coffee for ammunition and medical supplies. The blockade, intended to suffocate Haiti, instead forced innovation in underground commerce. These new routes strengthened rebel autonomy while further destabilizing French revenue. Once again, illegal trade proved more resilient, and more powerful, than any empire's military strategy. Toussaint Louverture understood that revolutions were not won by weapons alone, they required stable economic systems. He reorganized plantations under paid labor, reopened trade with American and British merchants, and negotiated deals that ensured both food and military supplies for his forces. Using strict contracts and regulated exports, he transformed a war-torn colony into a functioning wartime economy. Louverture leveraged global markets to guarantee survival, demonstrating unmatched financial acumen. His success terrified European powers, a formerly enslaved man commanding an economy strong enough to rival theirs. Yet it was the secret trade networks that laid the foundation he mastered. Realizing military force alone could not reclaim Saint-Domingue, France attempted economic manipulation. They offered exclusive trade privileges to compliant plantation owners, imposed maritime restrictions, and tried bribing rebel leaders with promises of autonomy. But the underground networks, maroon markets, voodoo coordination, Spanish frontier routes, remained beyond their reach. These decentralized systems resisted control because no single point of failure existed. Every attempt to choke the revolution financially only pushed rebels toward greater independence. The French economy, stretched thin by European wars, lacked the strength to outmaneuver a resistance built on adaptable, invisible commerce. When Haiti declared independence in 1804, the world's first black republic was born not only from military brilliance but from financial ingenuity. Yet freedom came at a devastating cost. France later forced Haiti to pay a crippling indemnity that drained its economy for generations. Still, the networks that funded the revolution became foundations for Haitian commerce, blending Caribbean, African, and Atlantic trading traditions. The hidden trade, once criminalized, had reshaped global economics, proving enslaved people capable of outthinking empires. The revolution's financial legacy remains both triumphant and tragic, a testament to the power and cost of economic liberation. The Haitian Revolution was more than a military uprising, it was a financial rebellion powered by the creativity, defiance, and hidden trade of people denied humanity yet never stripped of agency. Their underground economy exposed the vulnerabilities of empires built on exploitation and proved that wealth could be weaponized for freedom rather than tyranny. As we reflect on this extraordinary chapter in financial history, remember that the quiet exchanges of the oppressed can topple the loudest powers. If you found this story illuminating, like, subscribe, and continue exploring the financial forces that have silently shaped our world.